Hi, welcome back for another tutorial. Today I will be showing you how to make this cute and easy bag that you can add to your notebook wherever you go. It has an elastic and you'll be able to easily take it off whenever you want to open up your notebook and open it up like this, or whenever you just want to keep it on here. But this is going to be a fun and easy project to make, and you have a lot of pens that you can put in here, and you can even put little sticky notes in here as well. So I'll be telling you all the measurements and the step-by-step on how to make this bag. Remember that you can make your own measurements depending on the size of notebook that you would like to use. So this notebook that I am using is a 11 by 8.5, but you can also use a smaller notebook, and this notebook is 9 inches by 8, so you can also use it on this. But depending on the size of notebook that you use, that will take into consideration for the elastic. All right, so for the elastic here, I'll be using a 15-inch for a bigger notebook. You can also even do probably 13 or 14 inches if you want to make sure that it's really tight and secured. For this one, I would use a 7 or 8-inch elastic if you're using a smaller note. I'm going to go ahead and show you the step-by-steps on how to make this cute little bag. And I'll be making sure to type it up in the description below about all the sizes that I used and all the materials that I used as well. Let's go ahead and let's jump into it. Here is what we're going to be needing. You're going to be needing 9 by 7 inches of main fabric, so 2 pieces, your lining and your interfacing. The elastic depends on the size of the notebook that you're going to be choosing. Okay, so I have my interfacing, my main fabric, and my lining. So 2 pieces for each one, and my zipper and my elastic. My elastic is 15 inches long because of the 11 inches of the notebook that I'm going to be using. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and iron down my pieces, and then I'm going to iron down my interfacing to my main fabric. Okay, remember that with your interfacing, it's always shiny part down. Once you have already ironed down your interfacing, then you're going to go ahead and get one of your lining, and you're going to place your zipper on top of it, and then you're going to place one of your outer layer over it, and then we're going to clip it down so that we can go to our sewing machine and sew the top. All right, just to show you what I'm using here, my tension is going to be 4. I have my needle in the middle, and then I have my width to be a 4, my length to be a 3, and then I have a straight stitch. Okay, and then I am using my zipper foot to be able to sew with my zipper. All right, now to make it easier, you can open the zipper so that way it can be all the way at the bottom. So when you are sewing it, you don't have to worry about it in the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and just place it right here down the middle. And then don't forget to front and back stitch. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to open it up. And you're going to give it a top stitch. I gave it a top stitch already with my lining in the back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, since I have a small business, now I'm going to go ahead and place my label. Labels that I have are from Ever Emblem. I will be writing down the link for the ones that I get on the description. And I like ironing them down and then sewing them around so that way they can be secured and they can stay in place. I'm going to go to my sewing machine and sew all the way around, but I am not going to be doing it with the lining. So I'm going to be separating it so that way the lining doesn't have the lines of the label. Okay, I already sewed up my label. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my other lining, place this one on top. Make sure that they align with one another, and then you can clip it down, and then we're going to place this one on top of it, and then we're going to go to our sewing machine to sew the top section here. Okay, once you've sewed it, go ahead and you're going to open it up and you're going to pull the lining from the bottom towards it, and then you're going to flatten it out so that way we can give it a nice top stitch, just like how we had done it on the other side. Okay, once you've given already your top stitch on the other side, now this is where it's going to be a little bit different. If you've seen my other video with the zipper pouch, we're going to be adding now the elastic. It depends on the size of notebook that you are using. I'm using an 11-inch notebook, so I cut out my elastic to be 15 inches, and that's because I want to make sure that it goes all the way around. And so now I'm going to go ahead and clip it down in the middle of only the back of one of the main layers. So only on the main layer, and I'm going to clip it on the back side. Okay. So now I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to secure it by sewing it a couple of times, maybe 4 times, going back and forth, as well as this one. We want to make sure that it's secured and that it doesn't come off as you're putting it and taking it off from your bag. Let's go to our sewing machine. You can also change now take off your zipper foot and you can put your regular foot back in, since we're not going to be needing the zipper anymore. Okay, so I'm only going to be sewing only my elastic with my main layer, not with the lining. Okay, I already have my elastic sewed down a couple of times back and forth. So now we're going to remember to open your zipper, because this is where you're going to be able to pull out your bag from. Now I'm going to get both of my main fabric, both of my outer layers, and both of my linings together. Now, when you are pushing it down, you want to make sure that your zipper is facing down on the direction of the lining. So I'm going to clip that one down first, and then the same thing over here with this side. Make sure that your zipper is facing down towards the lining, and then we're just going to clip it all the way around. And you want to make sure that you leave an opening on the bottom of your lining to be able to pull out your bag. So I would leave about maybe the size of my hand, just so that I have enough room to be able to pull out my bag. And then I'm going to go ahead and clip down my main pieces together. Okay, so I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to start sewing from right here, going front and back stitch, and then go all the way around my bag here. And then I'm going to stop right here just to make sure that I have enough space here, because this is going to be my hole to be able to pull out my bag. Okay, so let's go to our sewing machine. I'm going to go ahead and sew 3/8 all the way around.
After you're done sewing, you can cut off the edges so it won't be bulky. Once you're done cutting, then you can pull it out from your hole from the lining part, and then make sure to push out all of your corners. Once you're done pushing out your corners, then you're going to get the lining part and clip it down, and then you're going to go to your sewing machine and sew up that open hole that you have in your lining part.
Once you've already stitched up your lining, you can push it down and your bag is all done. Look at how cute this is. And then we can put it in our notebook here. Now remember, this notebook is 11 by 8.5, and it fits perfectly fine there. And then we can put in our pens, and you can even put some sticky notes. You can flatten it out. And there you have it. You have a cute little bag for your planner or for your notebook, or just to take on the go with you, to carry some pens with you. And I hope you guys liked this tutorial, and if you did, make sure to subscribe and to hit that like button, and I'll definitely be coming out with more tutorials in the future. So I will see you next time.